Napoleon Bonaparte, a name that has echoed through the ages, conjuring visions of power, strategy, and sheer will. But behind the battlefields and towering political achievements lay a man of peculiar routines, quirks that shaped not only his day, but perhaps his destiny. Today, we dive into the eccentric daily habits of this legendary figure and discover the methods behind his madness. Habit number 1, the obsessive note-taker. Did you know Napoleon carried a small notebook everywhere? He documented everything, from grand military strategies to fleeting personal thoughts. This wasn't just a tick, it was a reflection of his meticulous mind. Next up, the power napper extraordinaire. Forget 8 hours of sleep. Napoleon believed in short bursts of rest. He'd sleep for just 4 to 5 hours at night, taking 15-minute naps during the day. Legend has it, he once fell asleep on the battlefield, only to wake up ready to issue commands. Talk about efficiency. Napoleon's love for baths was legendary, not just for hygiene, but for creativity. He often spent hours immersed in warm water, dictating letters and orders to his secretaries. And while baths, he used up to 60 bottles of citrus-scented cologne a month. When it came to food, Napoleon was, well, let's call him practical. He was a notoriously fast eater, wolfing down meals in minutes. His favorite dish? Chicken marengo, a recipe improvised by his chef after a victorious battle. Napoleon wasn't one for elaborate feasts, he preferred simple, no-fuss meals. Here's a weird one. Napoleon hated open doors. He insisted that doors remain closed at all times, whether in his home or his battlefield tent. This obsession, bordering on compulsive behavior, added to his image as a man who left nothing to chance. Did you know Napoleon was also a prolific letter writer? He penned over 33,000 letters in his lifetime. But what's truly fascinating is his habit of writing fiery, emotional letters in anger, and then waiting until he calmed down before sending them. A leader with temper management skills? Impressive. However, despite his tough exterior, Napoleon had a soft side, especially for animals. During his exile in Elba, he adopted a stray dog and reportedly spent hours with his furry companion. It's a touching reminder of his humanity. Of course, we can't forget his hat. Napoleon's bicorn wasn't just a style choice, he wore it sideways so his troops could recognize him on the battlefield. And speaking of quirks, he had a habit of tugging his ears when deep in thought, a physical tic that hinted at his intense mental focus. Lastly, Napoleon was deeply superstitious. He carried a scarab talisman from Egypt, believing it brought him good luck. He also looked for omens before battles and held on to sentimental keepsakes like locks of his son's hair. Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius, a political visionary, and a man of many quirks. His weird daily habits remind us that even the greatest figures in history are human, with oddities and routines that make them uniquely memorable. Inspired by Napoleon, I decided to try his peculiar habits for a day. Could I survive on power naps, fast meals, and obsessive note-taking? Tune in to find out, and maybe take a page from Napoleon's book yourself.